Hello. um, so I just really felt like getting into the Gulf War last night, and so I watched some uh, footage from the CNN archives that was on YouTube. Gosh, I should post it below actually what I watched. I'll bring that up at the end because I just wanted to get into it. So, yeah, first of all, it's interesting. That was my first birthday, August 1st, 1991. And then the actual for the invasion of Kuwait, if I'm remembering the video right. And I hadn't really seen footage of Saddam Hussein, but what a funny guy in the sense that, like his swagger, like kind of fat, had been really handsome when he was younger. Just kind of interesting things to notice in a modern leader from a country with new wealth after completely dissolving uh, before like modern era, I guess. He reminded me of like what leaders in the Balkans looked like. So they're kind of like a little disheveled, um, but they're fucking casual because they know they're living like at the bottom of the barrel as far as like men leading worldwide. And um, so that was interesting, just the video footage of him walking just like a pimp, like walking like a pimp. And I'm sure yeah, like everybody kind of got into like the pimp culture that came from America, but on the more cultural side and the less trafficking slavery, sort of like the vibe, the music, the attitude, of like doing it yourself against the odds, that part of it. So obviously not cheering for him. You have to you should always in a way like admire something of your enemy when you're observing them, because first of all, for them to be an enemy to like a superpower, that's something like notable. And so it is good as far as helping understand your enemies, to be able to admire them, because then you're actually learning about their personality, and somebody's personality is going to dictate a lot of how they lead, how they attack, how they defend. And so so terrible man. Anyway, then January 1st, my best friend from childhood, it just so happens her birthday was the actual lighting up of the Baghdad skies. And this part was really interesting to observe that footage of from the 90s, because so it's cutting in and out. The host says, we have four lines of communication. Oh, can't hear you. Oh, back to Wolf Blitzer from the Pentagon. Oh, this. Oh, now we can hear more. And then they're not actually really like saying anything novel or like very unique. They're in a hotel where that was built for all the diplomats who come through to stay at. And the ethnic groups in this hotel in Baghdad, when they're showing that footage, we have some very Amish looking women. We have just subjective observation. We have some just like random groups. And and when we do the full audit and debate of the Gulf War in 9/11, we really do need to, for everybody in the hotel, I want that full story, for people who stayed in that Baghdad hotel, because it was an interesting group of people hiding in the basement. So there's this bomb shelter. The reporters are down there. They're kind of silly in that they're saying like they're trying to take our video footage away, like the Iraqi government, but we're trying to hide it. So they were like hiding under beds, and I guess that worked. One of them said, and this is pretty much a quote, um, Even though the bed is so low to the floor, I was still able to hide underneath it. So anyway, and it was a very short video. It was just like 20 minutes long. And then Mr. Bush, Senior, President Bush Senior, came on and said, we aren't looking to conquer. This isn't about the conquest of Iraq. This is about the protection of Kuwait. And that was the one point he was at in the video. And then it was something where like, they were looking to the American military overseas. So this also blew my mind learning about the Gulf War. We had 485,000 troops just like in the area. And then there were also troops in Baghdad and Iraq, or just around. I think from 9 different nations, they said. And so that was interesting. And so, yeah, some of them African nations. And this is why you gotta teach your kids, people, because like the world around them, and not just say, here, oh, the teacher's gonna do it. Now I can go be a princess at the end of the day. Like, no. These debates should have happened, and these discussions should have happened in depth decades ago, as we are the only nation of people who are born powerful. We're born in power. That's what is the concept. And that we have the freedom to exercise those powers with our opinions. And in order to have a well-formed opinion, you need information. So, yeah, just wonder what the Africa bit was. But again, we'll have to all learn together. So that was interesting. 485,000 American troops in the area, 500,000. Just chilling is what I get from like veterans I've heard talk about what our military was like at that time. And it was like people were just chilling. Like no activity. It was mainly just like occupying for stability. Anyway, so they talked about like updating the weapon system, and then I thought it was interesting. On January 1st, this was Rachel Johansson is her name. It's her birthday. 1991. The skies of Baghdad illuminating. And what I felt like I got from the newscasters was like they were worried about a bombing, which is why everybody was in the bomb shelter in the Baghdadi hotel. And so they just lit up the skies like they're just. So we didn't have a technology in 1991 that could do like and that's something that newscasters did say, is we didn't have like a certain radar system, and so they were just illuminating the skies because we couldn't actually see if Saddam Hussein had one aircraft, 500,000, 500,000, and that we couldn't see if he had a single aircraft. And so they just lit up the entire sky because we didn't have that technology. And then the debate question would go back to, oh, why wouldn't we be constantly updating our technology to be the best? Why wouldn't we constantly be knowing where our enemy was at, what they had, especially if they're so rudimentary? And then why wouldn't we always be the trump card above that? And that's the question for debate. 1991. Oh, were the soldiers not inventing better helmets, better fucking material to wear in the desert? Just fucking anything different or new at all that was functional. So far the answer is no, we didn't wanna. That's what I get. The answer being, or no, we weren't allowed to. But I don't know. That'll be the topic for debate. And so we're just firing hundreds of rounds into the sky. I don't know if it bought in those 43 days. So I just did day one. So I guess I'll come back and do another video. And then I guess they got their shit together out of their opium high or whatever. Just laziness high, contentedness high, and then came to reality. And then the war was over in 43 days. I'm sure better soldiers came and did the job. The 485,000 Cuck Brigade wasn't capable or even could imagine doing themselves. So that's my so far analysis of that. With the Gulf War. And questions. So many questions. And it was also interesting because it's right at the base of a mountain range in Iraq. I didn't realize. And then they have like two beautiful rivers that go like this. That go like this. And then Baghdad was right there at like the bottom of the mountain. And so I do wonder kind of like, because there's so many tribal people, right, all throughout those regions, and they do make decisions that influence leaders, dictators, even like Saddam Hussein. And so I wonder kind of like what activity in the mountains looked like what are all the different groups in the mountains, what are the older tribes, what are the newer tribes, what do those other 9 nations have to do themselves with the tribes, since they have a centuries old history in that region with the fucking mountain people because of the trade routes that went through to Asia and just the Middle East alone. And so those are more questions I don't have answers to. There was footage of one of our little tanks shooting a rocket, and it had no recoil. And I was like, who invented this gorgeous machine? It just like, and then I was like, feel like then I saw worser tanks in 9/11, or did I not? Another question. And so then I did a 10 years later 9/11. I like to come back to it, never forget. I think they were the better men, still are the better men today. Again, in like the 498th Cuck Brigade is the mass emergency we're in. The American man is dwindling. And then the Cuck Brigade is like just like closely following behind them. And so, yeah. They're very good at camouflage. That's one thing you can say about the Cuck Brigade. It's like the thing they're best at. Their mama taught them how to color. And so, September 11th. Tuesday morning. And oh goodness, this is the news. Because I did the clip before the other planes. So just the first building hit. Oh gosh, a plane has entered the Twin Towers and it's on fire. What do you know down? What can you see from your vantage point? It was the phrase they kept using. Can't see anything. Are there any sirens? This is like in the first, after like the first minute. This is my major question. No sirens. So the fire department of New York City didn't respond to a building so this is like where the other buildings stand around the towers. And then this is a World Trade Center. So it's twice as high as everything around it. And it's on fire. And then no firemen have responded after the full minute of it being on fire. Okay. Why? And then my question of severe concern was the firemen's union on strike? And I'm going to end my video there because I'm trying to be more like to the point. There's a lot to do in America today, and we don't have too much time for people's planned bullshit, accidental bullshit, all surrounding bullshit, or their intimate bullshit. But we do have time for is questions that need to be answered. Other people need to care about demanding answers to simple observational questions. Love you all.